You're juggling a dozen balls in the air: budget reports, donor thank you emails, staff meetings, and that one board member who's just discovered Slack. Now imagine putting a few of those balls down, knowing they won't break. Hi, I'm Shannon Cherry from My Nonprofit Advisor. Now, the one thing I've been hearing is that this time of year can feel like a never ending treadmill. But today, we're talking about how to simplify, delegate, set boundaries, and breathe. Let's start with simplifying. The end of the year is like reviewing your mission goals. Some things are critical, and others, they can wait till January. For example, last December, I had this mountain of responsibilities: year-end appeals, event planning, and even rewriting the organization's strategic plan. I finally sat down and asked myself, what actually needs to be done right now? Here's the spoiler. The strategic plan got pushed to January, and the world kept turning. If something on your to-do list isn't a fire, let it simmer. Focus on what moves the needle, not what looks good on paper. Next, let's talk about delegation, because leadership isn't about doing it all yourself. It's about knowing when to hand off the clipboard. Think of it as sharing the workload, not proving you're a superhero. A few years ago, I was running our end of year campaign solo, juggling tasks like I was auditioning for Cirque du Soleil. When I finally handed off the social media post to our intern and the donor calls to a board member, not only did things get done faster, but they also got done better. Why? Because I wasn't exhausted and cranky micromanaging everything. Here's the thing. Your volunteers, staff, and even board members are there for a reason. So use them. Sure, it might not be perfect, but done is better than perfect. Now, about those breaks. Yeah, I hear you. I don't have time for breaks. I'm too busy. You know what's busier than you right now? Your brain, running on fumes. Last year, I was so fried I could barely spell my own name, let alone craft a donor appeal. So I did the unthinkable. I took a 10-minute walk around the block with my pup. And when I came back, I knocked out that appeal in record time. Here's the truth. Running yourself into the ground doesn't make you a better leader. It makes you a tired one. Step away, breathe, and remind yourself that Rome wasn't built by one nonprofit trailblazer on zero sleep. Now let's address the elephant in the room: saying no. Yes, I know you want to say yes to everything because everything feels so urgent, and you want to make everybody happy, and you don't want to be blasted because you didn't do something. But here's a reality check. Every time you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else. One December, I found myself agreeing to everything: every gala, donor meeting, hosting a last-minute holiday party, you name it. So I tried something radical. I started saying no. No to the random requests. And guess what? No one imploded. Turns out people can handle hearing no, especially if you say it with a smile and say, let's revisit this in January. Lastly, let's talk about celebrating small wins, because in the nonprofit world, we tend to focus on the big picture impact. Forget about the little victories along the way. This year, when I launched my fractional fundraising consultancy, I started a new habit. At the beginning of each day, I wrote down the one thing that went well from the day before. Sometimes it was simple as I ate lunch away from my desk during that end of year season that we're in. That can be considered a big thing. Either way, it reminded me that progress happens in steps, not leaps. So celebrate the small stuff. It's what keeps us all going. So simplify your list, delegate like a boss, take those much needed breaks, and say no when necessary. And don't forget to celebrate your wins. Nonprofit leadership is hard enough. Don't make it harder on yourself by trying to be everything to everyone. Let's wrap this year up with less chaos, more clarity, and maybe a little joy. Remember, your work changes lives. Take care of yourself while you do it. You've got this.